Sometimes what?
Sometimes I just kind of forget, and then it goes into like a more subtle type of breath.
Well, that's the whole point is that we keep forgetting.
Yeah.
Yes, we keep forgetting. And
We
so
have to
that's just the
remember.
reason that of sati. The sati actually, even though for some reason Goenka takes the word sati out of anapanasati and just calls it anapana,
Mm.
is actually anapanasati, which is to remember to watch, remember to control the breathing, remember that in the body scanning, also they kind of miss the point. And the point is the body scanning is for relaxing the body, making it comfortable,
Mm.
finding the tensions in the body and releasing them. It's not just a body scan for body scan sake.
Mm.
They've actually lost part of the intention of the body scan.
So I'm
And the
curious.
intention is to relax the body.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
I guess like, why did Goenka feel that system worked better?
Well, to be honest with you, and a lot of people in the old days recognize it, that while he was training in Burma, the
Mm.
Burmese government threw him out of Burma.
Oh.
He was deported from Burma, so he didn't actually get his training finished. But luckily enough for humanity, he started to teach what he did know.
Mm.
And that was a good thing. But did I tell you, I spent quite a lot of time with him,
Okay.
years in even. And that I left because something inside me kept saying there's something missing here. And it
Mm.
was only when I got to Thailand and was with Bhikkhu Buddhadasa that I began to understand and plug in the holes of what Goenka was missing. And then,
Okay.
in fact, he's missing a lot. And he's actually, the important thing to say is that he was missing some key ingredients. Just like so many of the meditation systems miss, the key ingredient that's missed is right noble effort. You know that the Eightfold Noble Path does have an item called right noble effort.
I've heard of it, but I'm not fully.
I know that's the whole point is that
Yeah.
you haven't been drilled on it.
Mm.
And the right noble effort can be correctly defined as the least amount of effort to actually get the job done. That's what makes it noble. Is the least interference possible to actually move that mountain.
That sounds kind of like the lazy man's way of doing it, but I like that.
Well, the whole teaching of the Buddha is to stop being overly active, doing what you're told to do, chasing around trying to get stuff, and overworking in order to overachieve and therefore getting overcompensated.
Mm-hmm.
That those are the two extremes: is working too hard and then expecting results. And the expectation of the results is gimme, gimme, gimme. I uh, those results are due to me. Look at how hard I tried. Look how much effort I put in.
Mm.
And so I am due all of this stuff. And when I don't get it, then we start complaining. And we work even harder and complain more. And that's the cycle that we get in. Two extremes of working too hard and expecting too much. And the middle path is don't work so hard and don't expect anything. Everything is already okay. The job that needed to be done was stop working so hard. And the benefit of the job well done is nothing. You get a whole lot of happy nothing. And this is part of the problem with Western mentality is that they try to work too hard at meditation and then expect results. And then
I think that's my problem too.
And then explain when they don't get what they're looking for. We got activities here in the yard, but I don't have to do it now. Thai people are to do it. So, this is going back to the point that we were talking about, is that we work too hard and expect too much. And when we stop working, we don't have to expect anything. And this is what begins to be the middle path. And so right noble effort is an effort. And in fact, for the beginner, there's more effort. And one of the examples that I use is, imagine that you're pushing a child in a swing. Okay? To start the swing off takes work. That first push is the hardest push. And after the swing gets going, all we have to do is keep pushing just a little bit, pushing a little bit, pushing a little bit. It's easy. But if we stop pushing, the swing comes back due to gravity, due to inertia, and it stops again. And now we got to put in more right effort to get it moving again. And this happens to everybody. Everyone who practices meditation, they'll quit. And then something will happen and they'll start practicing again. And then they'll quit. And then something will happen and they start practicing again. And that what we should be, let us say, remembering to do is a consistent practice, to keep practicing, to keep practicing. Yeah, if you forget a day, that's okay. Remember now to go back to it rather than letting it lapse. So this is the way that we do the right noble effort, is keep putting it in over and over and over again. We keep putting in effort, just a little bit of effort. And that's the part, like I said, that's missing. That's the real key, is to keep putting in the effort, to keep coming back to wholesome thoughts, to keep coming back to taking long, deep, easy breath, and to keep relaxing the body. And when we're doing those things, wholesome thoughts, and treating the body well, getting the body comfortable and relaxed, the two of them then work together on the feelings, so that we begin to feel okay. We begin to feel safe and secure and comfortable. And then we start to feel satisfied. Wow, this is good enough. And the anxiety drains away and the frustrations drain away, and we can handle things really easily. Why? Because we're putting in the right effort.
On that point, I just remembered, like, sometimes during the sits, I like feel a sense of anxiety within my stomach, which was interesting because I didn't really feel it before. I'm not sure if I'm breathing too hard or breathing incorrectly.
No,
Okay.
absolutely not. You're not creating. Let's put it this way. Let me ask you this question. Let's start this way. Okay. Do you think that anxiety is brand new and you're creating it? Do you actually think, actually upon reflection, that it's actually old anxiety that you may have not been looking at?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
That is old anxiety.
So as you're beginning to relax, you're beginning to notice that anxiety that's there, or that it comes and goes, but that the habit is old. Anxiety is something that children learn. And you're saying the way that you stated it in the beginning is that the anxiety is new. And that's not the case at all. You've known anxiety on and off for many years now.
Yeah.
Which means that there may be a kind of a low-grade anxiety, and when you begin to relax, that old anxiety begins to show itself. Well, there's something to do about it. And what is that? To start breathing in long, breathing out long. Notice that anxiety. In fact, we're back to body scanning now. Start looking at that anxiety where it is in the body. Can you move it? When you breathe in, does it change? When you breathe out, does it change? And after just a few breaths, because you're paying attention to it, that anxiety will in fact start to change, start to modify, and eventually fall away. I'm glad that you mentioned that. That anxiety does not come up because of the meditation. That anxiety is revealed by the meditation.
Okay. I guess it also sometimes stays with me throughout the day. So do I just keep observing it and taking long breaths?
Yes, that's the whole point, to keep coming back and taking the long breaths. Let that breath, in fact, help you to modify the tensions and anxieties in the body so that the body now can come to a state of rest and at ease. But we also have to have wholesome thoughts, because the anxiety and the tensions come from having unwholesome thoughts. Mostly, oh, I've got to work really hard, and oh, I need a reward for all that work I'm doing. Can you, in fact, start to change that? Just relax. Everything is already okay. Everything is just fine.
Okay.
That's the way to practice. And it takes some going over it and over it again and talking to me about it so that you can begin to get clear. Because the instructions are simple, but we can find 1,000 different questions about them.
Yeah.
It's a simple process.
Okay.
Anapanasati is not difficult. It sure does seem so. For one thing, it has good benefit right from the beginning. That's one of the qualities, is then you don't see that in the Goenka retreats. You've probably heard this statement before. It's in the Dhammapada, but it's also in the Majjhima Nikaya, and it's also in the Sutta Nipata, some of the oldest literature, where it's stated that the teachings of the Buddha are good in the beginning, good in the middle, and good in the end, with right phrasing, timing. Have you ever heard that before? Good in the beginning. Yeah. Is Goenka retreats good in the beginning? Not so
Not for me, at
much.
least.
Not so much. Well, how about the Anapanasati that we've been talking about? Is that good in the beginning?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
certainly feels good.
Yeah, so that's part of the proof right there, is that, yeah, you're getting benefit immediately out of it. But you have to keep practicing. You have to keep going so that there winds up being a middle.
I guess when you say that statement, like good in the beginning, good in the end, and good in the middle, good in the end, does that mean there's like no suffering in between? Or
Well, it means no suffering when you are, let us say, mindful enough and skillful enough to remove the suffering right then and there.
Okay.
To remove those unwholesome thoughts right then and there. That another point about Western mentality is that it's actually seen to be a long-term thing. In fact, I even talk about it taking lives and lives and many eons. And that's really the wrong way to practice. The right way to practice is coming out of your dukkha right now. Get in the habit of keep coming out of it, and pretty soon it gets easy to come out of it. Then after that, it's almost energetic coming out of it. As soon as you see it, out it goes. But in the beginning, it takes some effort.
Okay.
And so you get immediate relief. You see, that long-term dukkha kind of attitude is that it's dukkha in the beginning, dukkha in the middle, and maybe no dukkha in the end. And the correct way to practice is, as soon as you see the dukkha right here, right now, let's get out of it.
Mm.
You see the tension in the body, when you see the anxiety in the body, let's play with it and get it out right now. When we have worries and doubts and frustrations, let's see that and come out of it right now. And when you think it's due and you start complaining, see that complaining and come out of it right now.
Mm.
Winds up being easy, but we have to practice it. We have to get it going, get it rolling.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I've been like trying to do it even outside of my sits, or I have not been trying to do it. Like whenever I remember, I'm like,
Whenever you
oh, like
remember. Mm-hmm.
I'm suffering. I'm thinking about unwholesome thoughts. Let me not do that and think of wholesome thoughts.
By
And
the
yeah,
word trying is a victim's word.
I am
And
doing it.
trying has the quality of failing in the end. But remembering to do it has the quality of a winner.
Yeah. And also, you talked about like right noble effort, and I guess one component you said was just always coming back to it and remembering. Like, are there any other aspects of it?
Well, yes, to do it again and to do
Okay.
it again. That in fact, getting it is getting it, and asking what's next is not really getting it.
So the only thing to it is just to keep doing it.
Keep doing it, exactly.
Okay.
Keep practicing, keep developing those skills over and over again. What is the skill that we're developing? Success.
Mm.
And as that builds up, the next thing that comes in, and we'll talk about this next time, the Pali word is samasankappa, and it has a twin word to it that's called shraddha or sada, and that means confidence. You
Yeah.
keep practicing until you get the confidence that you can do this, and you develop the attitude that I can do this, I can come out of my suffering, I
Mm.
can do this job. And that's when the attitude from victimization turns into the attitude of a winner. You're the boss here. You're the emperor of your own pile of dirt. Are
Yeah.
you going to be buried under it like a victim? You're going to be crawling your way out of it like a victim? That's how most people see meditation, is crawling out of it and eventually you get out. Or can you just simply come out of it and be on top of your own pile of dirt right away?
Yeah. Be on top
Yeah.
of it.
That's what we're practicing, is being on top of the world. And clawing our way to the top is not practicing being on top of the world, it's practicing clawing. Very subtle difference of getting the attitude, hey, I've got this. And that's the Sammasankappa. This is also part of the Eightfold Noble Path. It's often referred to as right intention, but when it's translated as right thought, that misses the point. Right intention is a better way of saying it is right attitude. The attitude of I've got this, the attitude of we can do this. And then that develops into the attitude of no matter how much the mind gets obstructed, no matter what hindrances are there, we can come right out of it and see the reality as it is. Now, that's an actual important point the Buddha makes. It's in Sutta number 48, is that no matter how obstructed the mind, the student has the competence and the skill to come right out of it, to know that he can come right out of it and come back into the reality and see the facts, see the truth, the way things really are. And then the Buddha says that that attitude is the first knowledge. It's the first real step on the path. It is a noble attitude. It is right, and it's an attitude that's not held by very many people. It's a very unusual attitude. The masses don't have that attitude. They would rather complain. So that's the Sammasankappa. It's the changing of your attitude from being an attitude of this has got me into the attitude of I've got it. By practicing this simple practice over and over and over and over and over again. Repetition. I will make one point. Some places in the sutta, the word strive is used. And I think that that's a bad translation by the people who are into striving. A much better word would be persistent. To persist, to keep coming back and keep coming back to do something that's easy. To continue to push it along. To continue, as it were, to kick the can down the road rather than stump your toe on a big heavy can.
Okay.
This is not a struggle. This is not striving, but it is something we need to do over and over and over again, persistence. That in fact, this persistence is helped build up by associating with noble Dhamma friends. This is what the Sangha is really all about, is for people to help each other. And so it would be good for you to develop some Dhamma friends.
Okay.
And in the worldly life, most of the people that you're around, they're not into the Dhamma. They're not into the Noble Dhamma. This is one of the reasons why on the Skype group we have the Sangha groups, the UK group and the US group. And so I would strongly recommend that you go on to these groups and start talking to the people who are on the groups already to get their noble perspective, to hear what they have to say, to hear their quotes. And then you can also start to either ask questions or start to quote your own suttas. Come up with your own ideas. And so
And
this
how do
is
I?
part of the persistence is to have noble friends that you can share the Dhamma with.
And how do I join the? Is it like a call or?
Well, on every one of the videos, there's the link to these groups.
Okay.
On the original email that I gave you, there's links to these groups. You can also search for them on Skype.
Okay. I'll take a look.
Yeah, you can do that. Easy to find it. Just go to any one of the YouTube videos and click on those links.
Okay.
Join the group.
I will.
All right. So let's go ahead and finish this call.
Okay.
And we'll talk to you in a few days.
All right. Thank you so
All
much
right.
again.
Okay, we'll see you.
Bye.